Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, October 5th. And the headlines that we're going to be looking at over the next few days is going to be we're going to have some sun and some clouds. We'll have some scattered storms. Some of those could be on the strong side here this afternoon and again for Friday. And also, we're going to be dealing with more fog not only this morning, Breckenridge on a 3-hour delay as our mini schools delayed across central Michigan, southern Michigan. And we expect a repeat of that tonight. We could have some pretty dense fog again tonight into tomorrow morning. And Hurricane Matthew certainly is going to be affecting parts of the southeast coast with a tremendous amount of rain, maybe over a foot of rain. We'll look at that in a moment. And again, those storms will continue into Friday before a cool weekend comes in. But overall, a pretty warm pattern. We don't see any real cold air coming in sight now. Saturday or Sunday morning, we could see some of the colder inland areas get down into the 30s and could see some isolated frost. But I think we're talking about places like Tustin and Luther up in that area. Some of those low-lying areas could possibly see some frost. But again, for much of us, don't see any real hard frost or freezes anytime soon. Our normals for the day, our normal high is 63. The normal low is 41, so well above normal. And you can see across the area yesterday, temperatures mainly in the upper 70s to the low 80s. Breckenridge picked up 5100s to lead the way as far as precipitation. The warm spot, Blissfield and Jasper got up to 82. And over in Marlette, they were down to 55 degrees for the cool spot. And you can see 11.2 degrees above normal so far for the month of October. And speaking of yesterday's gusty storms that moved through the area, this has moved right through Breckenridge here and give us 51 hundredths of an inch of rain in just 30 minutes, and we had a wind gust of 31 miles per hour. So pretty impressive shower that moved through the area yesterday. If we look at the conditions around the area this morning, see temperatures very warm, mainly in the low 60s across much of the area. A little cooler 50s as you get towards the western portions of the area and some of those low-lying areas. And you can see the large area of dense fog for much of the area, and that'll continue until 11 o'clock, and then I think we'll repeat the same situation. In fact, we could have more fog tomorrow, tonight into tomorrow morning than we do today. If we look at the next map, you can see the hurricane advisories out. Again, this hurricane has already begun to approach. It's getting through the Bahamas right now on its way to Florida. And we'll show you some of the radar. You can already start to see some of the outer feeder bands now getting ready to approach southern Florida. And you can see a major hurricane is indicated as it goes through Florida here over the next 36 hours. And you can see storm surge warnings. The area in particular, it's all up and down the coast of Florida. But I think the areas are really going to be hard hit is near Titusville down to Melbourne and down to Port St. Lucie. In this area, again, very strong, very dangerous storm surges are expected. We actually have a brother-in-law and sister-in-law that live down in Melbourne. They've relocated to Orlando. And again, hopefully things don't get too out of control for the areas down there. If we look at that radar map from the area, you can again already see these feeder bands beginning to move towards Florida as we put this into a looping motion. You can see it's getting close, and that storm will begin to affect the area here later on today. And if we look at the next shot, you can see the radar closer to home. We got some area showers and thunderstorms moving out of Missouri and southeast Iowa, and those will be affecting the area this morning. Again, these will be scattered. They will be weakening, but we'll have more developed later on, especially later this afternoon, and those will continue on a scattered basis right into Friday evening. And again, any of these storms could be on the strong side as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. And of course, you can see snow just north of Montana and North Dakota. It's only a matter of time, although right now we don't see anything like that coming for the next several weeks. Looks like plenty of warm conditions. On the weather map this morning, you can see low pressure system along that cold front. Cold front's advancing slowly in this direction, but we continue to see waves move up that front, and that's keeping the front from moving too fast. But again, it'll make it through here later tomorrow, and then again behind that front, we'll have cooler air for the weekend, but then we'll moderate and warm back up as we get into next week. Weather forecast map by Friday morning, that cold front now coming through eastern Wisconsin. Again, we're still in the warm sector, and I think, again, conditions for Friday night football game should be on the warm side across much of the area. Can't rule out some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then by Saturday morning, that front will sweep off to the east. High pressure will build in. But again, as we get into Saturday or Sunday morning, we can see temperatures in the low to mid 40s. And again, those colder locations could drop down well into the 30s and can't rule out some isolated frost in low-lying areas. As far as the precipitation over the next 7 days, Again, look at much of Florida, the East Coast, and along portions of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, anywhere between 15 to or 10 to 15 inches with isolated amounts, possibly approaching 20 inches of rainfall. And across the areas of Florida, they could see winds over 100 miles an hour with this storm. So again, very dangerous situation if you're along the coastal areas of Florida up into the Carolinas. Stay tuned over the next several days. And once the storm begins to move out to sea, it may not be done with much of the southeast U.S. as expected. Then instead of to carry out, this trough that's going to come through is not going to be able to pick this storm up and take it with it. It's actually going to miss it a little bit. So as the storm moves northeast, it's beginning to turn back to the south. And again, we may have to keep an eye on this again in about 5 to 8 days or 10 days. It may come back to parts of the southeast U.S. As far as precipitation across the Great Lakes, the heaviest remaining to the northwest of the MAC area. And then we have a lot of dry, nice weather, I think, for next week. And we should really kick into high gear, getting plenty of corn in the Breckenridge area here yesterday. I'm guessing we've probably picked up about 75,000 bushel so far since we started taking in corn. So it certainly has picked up. If we look at the Friday night football games at kickoff, looks like temperatures will be quite warm in the low to mid 60s. It'll be on the breezy side, a 30% chance of thunder showers. And again, right now it looks like winds will be about 15 miles an hour, gusting to about 23. And again, so it'll be warm and breezy. And by the end of the game, it'll slip into the upper 50s and winds will calm down just a little bit, but it'll still be on the breezy side. So again, it looks like a warm, windy night for Friday night football games, and you may have to dodge a few showers or thunder showers. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.